Welcome to Dipito. How you
Welcome
doing, Simon?
to the Dipito Let's Talk Crypto Show. I'm very good, very good. Melissa, how the heck are you doing?
I'm doing very good. I'm a little tired this evening.
Oh, me too. Me too. I woke up at 3 a.m. and that was it. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna go make some tea and maybe I'll get sleepy. Nope, that did not happen. No? I don't know what's going on, but the universe wants me up at 3 a.m.
Ryan got up at 3 o'clock in the morning too last night. Me?
Did he stay up?
Yes, he did. So he's tired. He's really tired too. He's like, I'm ready to go to bed. Like, I don't blame you, buddy.
Good night, babe. I gotta do a show. I gotta do a show. Yeah, I agree. I'm tired. But I'm good though, man. I got the positive, good vibes. I'm gonna share a video today for the inspirational, courtesy of my wife. It's a tearjerker, not a tearjerker. I just think it's cool. Kind of shows our true character deep within.
Awesome.
That we just really don't see a lot of. So
I want to welcome the 5 folks that are watching live right now. Tonight, we're doing something a little different finally. Welcome Crawfish and Kita and Lisa and the new mindsets here. We are not streaming on my X channel. A lot of our viewers have been kind of tuning in directly from my World Be Free X channel, and we really are trying to grow the YouTube channel. So we're hoping that our audience will tune in on YouTube or Rumble at Dipito, and you can chat live from both those places. So we hope that you would please like, share, and subscribe.
Like, share, and subscribe.
And we have a special guest this evening. We have Mr. Man. And so after our feel-good story, I'm going to do the intro and we'll bring him in so he's not waiting around. So given that you have a super awesome video to share, how about we start with the 15 minutes of inspiration? Yeah. Feel-good stories on a Wednesday. What you got tonight, Simon?
Okay. All right. So not too long ago, 7 days ago to be exact, we remembered, because we will never forget, here in this country and all across the globe, 9/11 was and still is and will forever be a very, very tragic day. And there are so many in the world's history. However, it's in these tragedies that we get a big view of the light that we all have inside us. And so when we're able to really see that, where we come together, even though some of us might be Yankees fans and Boston Red Sox fans, we still come together. And so I'm going to share a video with you that takes place on that day, that shows a perspective of people coming to the aid, and I think it's really cool. So I'm going to share my screen here just a moment. We're going to do the entire thing. We want the audio so everybody can hear all the way in the back of the, I was going to say bus. But
welcome Crypto Professor and Joanna and Life with Glee. Thank you guys for coming. All right, loud and proud.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Make her big. Expand your video. Corner.
Just a second. I'm trying to make sure we good. Here we go. Bam. Okay, here we go.
Can't hear it.
All right, hold on a second. You can't hear that?
Nope. No.
Let me do this. Let me do this. Entire screen. Share audio. This one. Share. Be careful sharing audio. Got it. Can I hide and play now?
Ian's got him and go, what are you doing? He goes, I'm jumping for my life. So, you couldn't argue with him there.
There was a small boat that was at the lower tip of Manhattan. I thought the boat was going to flip over because so many people were trying to get on. And as I looked behind, they were just 10 deep. That's kind of what gave us the idea.
We decided that this has to get better organized and we better do it. And that's what we did.
So we decided to make the call on the radio. All available boats. This is the United States Coast Guard aboard the pilot boat in New York. Anyone want to help with the evacuation of Lower Manhattan? Report to Governor's Island.
So a call went out.
On the radio. They were coming.
I was uncertain of who was going to respond. About 15, 20 minutes later, there are just boats all across the horizon.
Literally 100 targets converging on the lower part of Manhattan.
When we came out of that dust cloud, tugboats, I'd never seen so many tugboats all at once.
There was just like a fleet of tugboats headed to Manhattan.
If it floated and it could get there, it got there.
All different size, shapes, and form. And they were zooming across this water.
Ferries, private boats, party boats.
I worked on the water for 28 years. I've never seen that many boats come together at one time that fast. One radio call and it just came together just that fast.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. So, tragedy struck Manhattan Island. One call went out, and all the boats came to Manhattan Island to help evacuate Manhattan Island.
Mm.
That right there speaks to the core of who we are as soulful beings on this earth. That right there. So,
And that
I
made
know
me cry.
yeah, I know. I told my wife, I said, she's like, "Oh, this is so good, babe." And I don't disagree with her. It is. I'm like, honey, I try to stay away from some tear jerking stuff, but I'll play it because I love you. And it really does speak to who we are. And I know all of us in this crypto space, that's us.
Yes.
We would do that. If I had a little inflatable rowboat, I'd be like, okay, I'm going. I'm
doing it.
Come on. Look, I'm going to get at least one kid or one person, one grandma. I got this. No problem. I'll get out and push and kick my little legs or something. You know what I mean? I know that's kind of goofy, but anyway, so that's my 15 minutes of inspiration and remembering the light within, and it always shows up on our darkest days.
I love it. I love it. Well, I'm going to share mine real quick. Crypto Professor said, awesome. That's like helping out Becky. Yes, it is.
That's right.
So mine is, each new day is a blank page in the diary of your life. The secret of success is in turning that diary into the best darn story you possibly can. And that's what we do every day. That's my mission. That's my main mission, is to live the life that I want, and I'm creating it every single day. I'm doing my best to do that. So I want to welcome everybody to another episode of Dip a Toe, Let's Talk Crypto. Tonight, we have a very special guest who swings into the crypto space with the agility of a superhero. He's not just any crypto enthusiast. He's the friendly neighborhood expert who dons a Spiderman costume in all of his videos. Please join us in welcoming the amazing, the spectacular Mr. Man, known for his incredible ability to break down complex crypto concepts and his passion for Ripple XRP. Mr. Man is here to share his insights on some of the hottest topics in the crypto world today. We'll be diving into the world of stablecoins, exploring the latest in DeFi protocols, and discussing the implications of the markets in crypto assets regulations, which is the MiCA regulation. So get ready for an engaging and informative session with the one, the only Mr. Man.
That's good.
Your introductories are the best, man.
Right? I know. Hey, if you ever go on tour, you start doing events, man. You gotta plug her. You gotta be like, hey, you gotta come with me. You gotta bring me out.
Yeah, yeah. Remember back in the day where there was kingships, and you had that one person that came out first and read that. Hear ye,
Yep.
hear ye.
Yeah,
We now have
yeah,
Lord
yeah.
so and so from.
Yeah, right.
That's great. Great.
That's
Well,
awesome.
we
Thank
are
you for that intro.
we're excited to have you here tonight, and for those. So we've got 17 people in here. Please like, share, and subscribe. Share this out so that we can get some more folks in here. Can you start by telling us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the world of cryptocurrency?
Absolutely. So my journey into the world of crypto was like everybody else's, bumpy, filled with thorns, planes crashing, everything that could go wrong happened. You know, if I didn't think it could go wrong, it could go wrong, and it did go wrong. So it all started when I was at work, and this is when the C19 was going out there, and they were starting with the whole jibbity jabs and whatnot, and this is when I started my deep dives into the world of the C19, and I had come to the conclusion that I couldn't do anything about it. I had a legit mental breakdown in my vehicle at work just before I was leaving. I remember like punching the steering wheel, saying I can't do anything about this. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not anybody of any, accolades or anything along those lines.
Right.
So for whatever reason, like I've always been drawn to money and following the money in whatever that looked like to myself in my life. And I got to the point where I was like, I need to figure something else out. And I had an investment because in my family, I'm the one who tends to go down the money trail. So I had an investment that I started with my mother, my sister, my cousin, and myself. For each month, we would contribute $100 each. So by the end of the month, we have a $400 pot, and we do this every month and let that grow. And then it got to the point my cousin and my sister like, okay, well, we have this pot, but it's not doing anything for us. It's just sitting there. How do we allow this to compound and grow faster? And my sister was like, well, why don't we try Bitcoin? And I was like, okay, I don't know too much about it. I knew a bit about it back in 2008 when I first heard about it, but I didn't know much about it still. So I jumped into the crypto world in 2001. I want to say near a top. And I was excited thinking, all right, here comes the money. And then I just watched the value of our holdings just decrease. And for the life of me, I couldn't tell you what was going on. And I was like, oh my gosh.
You went back out to the car and you started punching the steering wheel again.
And I have no idea what's going on. Pretty much. So I started reading like news articles. And I mean, reading news articles about Bitcoin tells you absolutely nothing. Then you hear individuals like Michael Saylor talking about, mortgage your house, mortgage this and more and leverage that. And I'm like, okay, well, this is definitely not a plan I'm going down. So I tried to reach out to a few people who I thought were reputable, but I mean, I had learned really quickly that there's a lot of scammers in this industry or in this space. And these people were replicating who I thought I was following, essentially. So for instance, Coach JV, he was one person I followed to begin with in learning about XRP. And I didn't realize there were so many scam replicates of this one real individual. So I reached out thinking that was the real one. And man, I got taken for some money. And it happened not once, not twice, maybe not even 3 or 4 times. It could have been more than that. But after losing like money, lots of money, I remember being upstairs. So my wife and I sleep in 2 separate beds as well. And I remember being in her room and, talking to her and saying, you know what, like this isn't working. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, how to go about this. And she's like, well, why don't you learn about crypto? I'm like, I don't even know where to start. I have no idea what Bitcoin is. I don't know what crypto is. I honestly have no idea where you start because like most people, I just assumed crypto was peer-to-peer money. You're thinking Bitcoin's outside of the jurisdiction and the regulatory purview of central banks and governments and yada yada. and then the whole trucker rally happened, and then I learned really quickly that Bitcoin is not actually outside of the purview of central banks or governments, because the governments were locking off people's Bitcoin wallets as well. So I had begun my serious deep dive. After learning some stuff from Coach JB, I had followed a bit of Crypto Hulk to begin with. I had followed a bit of Alex Cobb, not too much, and a few others in the space. Crypto Sensei, one of my big ones too. Him and I are good. We chat behind the scenes. I had just learned a bit from them, and then I just kind of took the reins on my own, and I went down my own deep dive. And then when I started to learn a bit about cryptocurrency, Cypress and I had connected. Cypress from CypherX, Forex trader. Him and I had connected, and he liked my style of research and how deep I went. And he asked me to jump on a video of him, and I'm like, not gonna happen, not happening. He's like, come on, man, like is next level. I'd love to have you and showcase the stuff you're presenting. I'm like, I'm not doing it, man. He's like, why don't you just wear a mask? I was like, okay.
I'll do it.
I can do that. And then
what's the coolest
so he's your crypto homie sidekick, like in all the superhero movies. It's like, dude, just wear a mask. You'll be fine. I promise. You're gonna be okay. That's cool.
Essentially.
Yeah.
So because of him, I'm here doing what I'm doing today, you know. And he's like, you'll level up quickly in terms of your followers, because you can leverage my account with me. I'll give you the exposure you need and get your research out there as well. And then you can just, you know, take the reins and run with that. And
Very
I
cool.
did just that.
Yeah.
And my style of deep diving, I read documents, I watch conferences, I check out PDFs, I listen to audio, I go running 25 kilometers in my ears, listening to conferences, learning, continuously learning. In the early days, I'd have earbuds in my ears, falling asleep. And if I fell asleep at a particular point and I don't remember anything, I'd listen to that entire conference again the next day just to make sure I caught what I was listening to and it made English sense.
Yeah, that's funny. You know, that's how you and I kind of met. That's how we met. You were the only other person I knew that was looking at these conferences at such a deep level. And that's why I initially reached out to you a while back, because I recognized it right away. And, you know, when I look into one of these conferences, it was like, you know, are you watching this? You know, like there's only 10 of us watching type thing.
Yeah.
So very cool that you chose
nice to
educate people.
It's honestly really nice to find videos that are like 3 years old and have so much meat on the bone, and like I'm person number 32 to watch it, you know?
Isn't it wild? It's wild.
It honestly is, you know?
You know, that's the thing, Mr. Man, is when I watch those videos, the conferences, the off the beaten path channels, of the people that are really working within this space, not a quote unquote influencer, and not you know, coin market cap articles or whatever, but the people that are really working in the space, and you listen to the way they talk to one another and what they're building or what they're testing out. It's very enlightening to listen to, because you realize that, you know, there is a timeline here that we're going down, and some things are going to take longer than what others would have you believe. Some people don't believe it's happening at all, you know. So yeah, listening to those types of conferences is very helpful. And it was definitely a reason why I was drawn to you as an educator, for sharing that, and kind of making that information somewhat fun with your Spider-Man costume, because it can be dry, you know. So, well,
Absolutely,
Simon,
I do know.
you got anything?
As you were saying, reaching out, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Mr. Man, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. As you were saying that some people don't believe that this is taking place or it's going to happen. I've met people that have been in this industry, I guess, as investors looking into crypto, and they're at the point where they're still fearful of crypto because like I was saying, in my early days when I first caught wind of a digital dollar known as a CBDC, I was out in Manitoba protesting the whole C19, not understanding what a CBDC was. And then as I began to make the connection between like Ripple and Stellar, the two big platforms to allow stable coins and CBDCs in there, I had a hard time getting over that hill and swallowing the pill to recognize that CBDCs are not what people believe them to be. I was fearful of them at first. Now I'm not welcoming them, but I have more of an insight and understanding as to what they are because I've relinquished the fear itself and accepted the fact that there's nothing I can do that's going to stop it. So learn about this. Kind of like when Trump first got in, I was like, okay, I don't know. See, I want to learn about him. You know, I'm neither for the left or for the right. I kind of walk down the middle and just kind of swivel my see what's going on. And that's about it. I find it easier that way. I don't want to be in a polarizing world within my own life.
I love that.
Yes. I'm very much doing that in my own way with my own perspective of where I'm going. I've really noticed that I myself have really dropped the BS. It's like it, you know, my personal world. It doesn't matter who's in the driver's seat. I know it's not me, so I have to still navigate and still make my moves and navigate through this to meet my goals and achieve what I want to achieve. Doesn't matter who's in that seat or not, or any other seat. I'm taking this position that has been shown to a lot of us, but very subtly. And this is by very, very wealthy individuals, you know, multimillionaires, billionaires. They don't care because they're just like, well, I'd rather have this person because it works out better for me in this manner for my business and my moves and what I'm doing. But if this person gets here and their team and blah, 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 then I'm doing this. See, they're already making the plan for, like you do, Mr. Man, this way, that way. Okay, well, that might happen. That's not going to happen. But this is going to happen. So how can I use this, or how can I allow others to use this and then create other opportunities around those things? I'm very much there in that kind of same light. I like that.
So, Mr. Man, you brought up stable coins a little bit ago. For our listeners who might be new to the concept, can you explain what stable coins are and how they differ from all the other cryptocurrencies we see out there? I think there's a delay.
Absolutely. So, in accordance with the BIS, they have a document out there that came out in. Can you hear me?
Yep, we're good.
Yeah.
Because there's a lag on my end. My internet's very, very slow out here in the bush. Okay. So in 2022, the BIS finalized a document called the Prudential Treatment of Crypto Assets. And in that document, they lay out the different various groups, I want to say, or categories of different types of crypto assets. Stable coins essentially are just crypto assets, but operate differently. Pure crypto assets, such as itself, are unbacked crypto. XRP is technically an unbacked crypto as well. So that would fall under the category of a group 2 asset in accordance with the BIS. And a group 2 asset is just, it could be any crypto asset that's unbacked. So looking at stable coins, there's different types of stable coins. There was Terra Luna, which is an algorithmic stable coin. Then you have stable coins with stabilizing mechanisms, and those are known as asset reference tokens or e-money tokens. E-money tokens technically exist in the world already. So if you go to get your phone and you tap, you're technically using e-money tokens. If you go to
Right.
you have a debit card and you tap or insert your debit card PIN coded, and you're using an e-money token. But the newest stable coin coming in with these known as an asset reference token is going to be tied to real world commodities such as gold, silver, real estate, ships, and they're not just necessarily a currency. It can be a security as well. So that stable coin can operate within my business in the sense of real estate, and I can issue a stable coin tied to the value of my real estate property or properties, as whichever have you, individual property or properties, which gives this stable coin a stabilizing mechanism because it's tied or referenced to the value of my property. So recently I jumped into, this isn't a plug, but I've gotten into Lofty, and Lofty offers real estate. Lofty is built as a layer 2 on Algorand, and they have offer real estate, tokenized and fractionalized real estate. So I jumped into that recently because one of their representatives have reached out to me, and we had started going back and forth for a bit there. And he said, "Mr. Man, why don't you jump into this? I know you're a real estate expert here. Why don't you check this out?" So I checked out the platform at first. I'm like, you know what? None of these properties are what I'm looking for. You know, I want multi-family or commercial or mixed use, something bigger than single family homes. That's not the avenue I'm going. So I was able to read the legal documents. I was able to see the signed agreements for the lease agreements. I was able to check out the work being done, how much the prop cost, on a monthly basis, well, an annual basis, property tax, utilities, the breakdown of what each tenant is paying. So I'm able to see the rent roll as well. And with that, when I buy into the property, I'm given a share or a stable coin within my Lofty in real time, going up and down like it's a stock market.
Wow. Very interesting, huh?
So,
wow. Yeah, that I didn't even realize that you've just brought something to light that I didn't know about in terms of what a stable coin is per se. And do you know what are some other popular stable coins on the market today? Which ones are being used the most that you see, and what makes them stand out to you as being worthy? So you've talked about this Lofty one, but what are some others?
So looking at market cap itself, Tether, the company USDT stablecoin, is the largest stablecoin in terms of market cap and popularity. But following the trends of popularity, just because something's popular doesn't mean it's good. Tether is the top stablecoin, but our USDT is a top stablecoin, but I wouldn't touch that. I haven't touched that, and I have no intention of ever touching USDT because the company states that their stablecoin is backed 1-to-1 with treasuries, cash holdings, and other liquid assets in terms of convertibility from one USDT to one USD currency. You should be able to swap no problem. And now they're offering gold. I've read documents from the G20 and T20, which is the G20's think tank, that states that Tether's holdings or reserves are actually 74 cents to 1. So they're under what they're supposed to have and what Tether's reported. They haven't actually completed a full audit. I personally trust USDC. The reason I trust that is because they adhere and follow regulatory guidance. There's no regulations out within the US yet. The Republicans and Democrats keep putting out bills and going back and forth, so it's still a minefield, if you will, with what's going to happen. NYDFS has regulations within New York, so state by state they can implement framework based off of what the NYDFS has. So you can, in a sense, get a bit license to be able to operate a stable coin within your jurisdiction within the state. Is it Texas or Wyoming? Wyoming, I believe it is. They're trying to come up with their own stable coin as well.
Yeah, Wyoming. Wyoming is,
Another
yes,
stablecoin
absolutely.
arrangements would be that of make or die.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Make or die. Yep.
So another arrangement will be make or die, and make or die is actually collateralized by other crypto assets itself. So it's not necessarily pegged to the value of the U.S. dollar or Canadian dollar or the European dollar or gold or real estate or land deeds. It's actually collateralized by other cryptocurrencies, which gives it its stabilizing mechanism, and that can be good or it can be bad depending on what happens to the stabilizing mechanism in those other cryptocurrencies. Because if you have the stablecoin here and the stabilizing mechanism loses value, this stablecoin is not stable anymore. It's going to depeg.
Right. Right.
Mm.
Well, but it's
Sorry.
kind of interesting. No, it's all right. It's kind of interesting there, though. Like when we say depeg, we're making that connection to the dollar, or a fiat currency, right?
Mm.
That would initially say it would be depegged, but I'm curious to know, even though it might have lost dollar value, would at some point the actual utility jump above the utility value jump above the shrinking dollar value? An example of this would be like, okay, back when you can get crypto, back before 2020, about 2017 and going further back, if you wanted any other cryptocurrency other than Bitcoin, you had to buy Bitcoin to get those other coins.
Yeah.
Right. And then if you cashed out in Bitcoin.
Oh, I can't.
What's that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Just make sure you're good.
Sorry, can you repeat that? My internet was really
internet went out.
laggy
Okay.
right now, and it's just.
So I'm curious to see, like, okay, if like MakerDAO has
Yeah.
all these other, it's backed by other digital assets, right? And even though those digital assets might go down in price value, would the stability not be so reliant on the price value, but more of the utility value of those digital assets, and thus making a leap or jump where we are now in society depegging ourselves from the fiat currency? Because I asked that I state that because back in my day when I was first getting into crypto, you couldn't just do cash to get whatever crypto you wanted. You had to buy Bitcoin to go get other cryptocurrencies, whatever cryptocurrency you wanted, right? Thus making Bitcoin the stable coin, if you will. But when it would trade, you went off Satoshis. You didn't care how much it cost. You were trying to increase your value of Satoshis when you would do a trade back then, not giving a hoot and hollering about how much that Bitcoin is worth in dollars. So I'm wondering if if we're in for a big surprise in the future. That'd be really interesting to see.
Mm-hmm. That's a really good question there. In regards to the stabilization mechanism and depegging versus the actual use case and implementation of the stable coin itself, it's a very interesting question, because you can or may experience a depegging situation where USDC had last year because the Circle had holdings or reserves in Prime Trust, I believe it was, or which bank went down? Silver, Prime Trust or Silvergate, I think it was. And
Prime Trust, I thought.
When that bank had experienced that run, which happened really quickly because it was they were ahead of the curve and were a digital bank. So when people were online, like were at home wiping their, oh my God, the bank's running, and they were trying to get their money out, USDC had experienced a depeg, and a huge depeg, at that point. And one of the biggest things that stands out in my head too, reading the BIS document, the prudential treatment of crypto assets, if you have a stable coin and your stable coin is collateralized by unbacked crypto assets, so group two assets are unbacked assets, group one assets, group 1A Those are traditional. Those are crypto assets with a traditional stabilizing mechanism. Group 1B, Group 1A has. Oh man, those are traditional assets essentially, but Group 1B are essentially a stable coin with a stabilizing mechanism itself. So if your stable coin is collateralized by an unbacked crypto asset, to hold that unbacked crypto asset within the banking industry itself, the financial industry or the Bank of International Settlement states that the risk to hold that is 1,250%. So when these go live on your balance sheets on December 15th, 2024, at the 1,250%. So for instance, like BlackRock, they have Bitcoin ETFs now. USDT is collateralized by cash and treasuries and Bitcoin. So on their balance sheet, that could potentially be a weight of 1,250%. So should something go wrong, that's a huge fall almost immediately.
Yeah.
So I do hope that answers the
question. When you say
no, it does. It go ahead.
I want to know what you mean by the 1,250%. Are you saying that as of December, they would be required to hold in excess of 1,250% in order for it to be stable? Or
yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. And just looking at Teresa B's question there, are stable coins just another form of CBDC? If not, can you explain the difference? Stable coins are not another form of CBDC. However, they can be used in conjunction with CBDC. Stable coins are a private sector initiative. So you and me can essentially put our own stable coin out there if we wanted to, as long as people believe it and the value is there, people can use it to buy whatever they want. CBDCs are a central bank initiative. So the central bank can have that on their balance sheet. And however, it does interact with a stable coin. And I've seen interviews or conferences where they state that there will be stable coins and CBDCs within the financial ecosystem, but there are stable coins that actually have the backing of a CBDC itself. So for instance, Australia's, I'll give you two different scenarios. So you have a country that's using RippleNet. RippleNet has their own RTGS system, real-time gross settlement system. And a real-time gross settlement system is the back end money moving from bank to the middleman here, the clearing and settlement, to the central bank, right? RippleNet does that with Ripple's own technology. So whoever's utilizing RippleNet can access this immediately, and that's a wholesale money. And Ripple is coming out with the wholesale stablecoin RLUSD. And then you have other countries like Australia, who's tapping into XRPL. And when I say the XRPL, they have their coin or stable coin from Navati. Navati's the company, and they're working with Ripple and Stellar and Solana and Ethereum and Hedera. They're taking a multi-chain approach. So it's not just RippleNet they're tapping into these different blockchains, and they're minting them on different blockchains itself. So it's not just the RTGS system they're trying to tap in with Ripple. They're going through the blockchain to blockchain to blockchain, and now they have to figure out a means to bridge these to here. And if they can't bridge them, then they're going to capitalize on an escrow scenario. So if I'm going from this blockchain to this blockchain, I need to lock the value here of whatever that currency is, the AUDD, and then the value is still here. This doesn't get minted. I mean, this does not get burned. It stays there, but it stays in escrow, because should I decide to move this back over there, it still exists over here. But it's just an escrow.
Can I ask you a question? Isn't that the same thing as the Nostro Vostro accounts that we have right now, where you have to put money in these other countries just to be able to do business? Isn't that a similar concept? And isn't that what Ripple and XRP is striving to solve that problem with the interoperability and using XRP as a bridge currency in between, so that you wouldn't have to do that?
So they are trying to solve that problem, but Nostro Vostro is not going to go away. Like, it's still going to exist. So let me give you an example. For me, in my DeFi positions, there's liquidity pools that exist still, right? I'm a liquidity pool provider, so I contribute to this currency and this currency. So in a sense, I'm in Canada and you guys are in the States somewhere. I go walk up to my bank, CIBC, and I say, okay, CIBC, I want to give. I'm trying to send money to my boy Simon and my friend Melissa. Here's $100. So CIBC will take that money, they will convert it to the US and then send it off. That conversion itself that CIBC does, that's a liquidity pool pair, the Canadian and the US. So that bank has to hold the US still, so that then they can take that money and send it off to you guys. I incurred a fee at that point. So when you get the money, you have the FX rate of what the US dollar is at that point, and I incur fees for that swap happening. So for me to be a liquidity provider for this for DeFi itself, I'm putting for the Canadian pair and the US pair, and anytime there's a fee a currency swap, I get the fees for it, as opposed to the bank taking the fees for it now. So it's still technically Nostro Vostro, but it's just in a decentralized manner that we can tap into it now. We can park our money there and capitalize on it. It's just that XRP makes this happen a lot faster, as opposed to needing to trap trillions of dollars at one bank, trillions here at this bank, trillions there at that bank, not incurring any interest, or it's just money that's trapped and sitting there. Whereas now I can do this and earn the fees.
That's right. Yep. That's DeFi is great.
If you're with RippleNet, you don't need to, because you're using Ripple's RTGS in the back end at that point. So it depends on which path you want to take.
Well, let's I'd like to throw another shrimp on the barbie on this topic. Let's go back to Aussie, right? All right. So you're telling us Australia is going after these different blockchains, right? Utilizing as many as they can. And I'm going to interject something that our awesome good friend Quincy Jones was good enough to share on this Dippito show a couple weeks ago. And that's where we're seeing the tokenization of real-world assets and more. Each some of these tokenizations are going to be, or tokens rather, are going to be for specific industries or types of business. They're going to be specialized in one area, right? Example, you're giving the examples. Australia's going for Solana, Ethereum, XRP, XRPL, etc. Right? The list goes on. So it'd be curious. Well, what's Solana trying to do? What's their goal in their project? What problem are they trying to solve? What's Ethereum trying to solve? What's XRPL trying to solve? Because I'm seeing what's XDC trying to solve. I'm seeing these blockchains that are really starting to get honed in on a specific use cases. And so I think it's really interesting and smart of Australia to do that. So now that their currency is tied to each one of those industries or tokenization protocols on those blockchains, that's really, really cool. It'd be a good time to get into DeFi, wouldn't it?
It would be. But there's also another arrangement too. So for instance, I've come to the not conclusion, but hypothesis, and I had it validated when I posted this as well on it from an Amazon.web website there. I had come to the conclusion that an RTGS system can be comprised of, for example, the unified ledger, or a unified ledger, which is unifying a collective of ledgers to make one giant ledger. So you have the XRPL as the start, because XRP would essentially be the mechanism to allow money to swap and move at the speed of light, or the speed of the internet, whatever you want to call it. The next thing that happened, you would have XLR. XLR is a messaging system. So for when I go to send you money, So say have you heard the term e-transfer, like an e-transfer?
Yep.
Yeah.
E-transfer,
So if
yes.
I transfer you money on my phone here, you will get the message stating that Mr. Man had sent you X amount of dollars. It's now in your bank. That's the messaging system itself.
Right.
So for the money trail now, it goes from the XRPL to Cosmos hubs. But how does it get to the Cosmos hubs? Because Cosmos is the internet of blockchains. And the reason it's called the internet of blockchains is because they have bridges. That's what they specialize in, bridges. Yep. One of the biggest plays they have is well, several big plays, but Corium. Corium is one of their big plays. It's ISO 20022 compliant, allows for CBDCs, allows for DeFi, allows for the continuation of XRP to move cross ledger still. So you have this XRPL here, you have the Corium bridge coming out. In this Corium bridge now, Corium interacts with Sologenic. So now you have an interface in Sologenic. You have a DEX there, you have a marketplace, NFT marketplace, you have DeFi, you have whatever you need now to manage this bridge coming in.
Right.
And then it's a two-way bridge coming out as well. So you're managing all these things as they're happening through this interface here. So now that goes back out on the Corium backend there, you finally get the message here saying that Mr. Man sent you some money, and now that value ends up in your account.
Right.
But then, for that transfer to happen, there has to be a contract, because if money gets lost, who's responsible for it? Who do I call that, hey man, I sent money to so-and-so there, who can I complain to? So you have Polkadot acts as a time-locked contract. So that could be a 3-second contract for me to send my money to you, or your money to me, or for wherever it's going. There's the contract that says, this is what's happening. These are the terms of the condition. This is how long it's for. And then once that contract is met, contract is null and void at that point.
So that's crazy stuff.
That's a different setup as well.
That's crazy. That's crazy stuff that's going on. You know, you're talking about the Corium, right? There's and Cosmos. Cosmos is their thing is bridges, right? Bridges between different blockchains, right? That's where the bridges really come in, right? Different networks, right? They are the new bridge in a different. Let me paint a different picture here for these dipitors that may not grasp everything that's going on. Okay, Mr. Man, he what's a cell service up there in Canada?
Rogers.
Okay, Mr. Man's on the Rogers
you
network.
Say Rogers that. Roger that.
Yeah, Rogers that. Yeah. So Mr. Man's on the Rogers that. Melissa is on AT&T, and I'm on Straight Talk or whatever, or Verizon, whatever you want. So when I call Mr. Man, it's got to go through that bridge. One network code talking to the bridge to get translated to what Mr. Man is saying. I can hear, and what I'm saying to Mr. Man, he can hear. Even right here, right now, there is a bridge that's working in the background in between what I'm seeing here and what I can hear here on here with my machine, and vice versa out where Mr. Man is, because he has a different internet provider and etc. And there's just different mechanisms that are going on in the back there, hence the bridge. Have you heard of R3 Corda, the company?
Absolutely,
yeah.
I have.
Yeah. They Corda, I know, manages other blockchains and networks, and I think they're really going to be in a good position to do that in regards to the advancement of bridges going on. And I'm curious though, because there's a connection there with Casper. Are you familiar with the token or the coin Casper at all? Yes,
I am. Yeah.
Now, are they in DeFi yet? Have you seen them on DeFi yet?
Casper, not that I'm aware of yet. I haven't looked into Casper DeFi, but I haven't seen anything with Casper DeFi either, though.
Okay. Just curious, because I know there's a connection there.
Okay,
cool
I can see that happening eventually, though, because
yeah,
for these swaps to happen, or for these these coins to gain stability, there has to be some sort of DeFi in there, whether it's staking of that coin, which creates stability to that ecosystem, or there's lending, or there's yield farming, or something to generate money across these different ecosystems. Still, there's going to be something, not just people buying and holding like it's Bitcoin. There has to be something that continues to generate money.
Themselves are they have they're going to have a huge impact on the traditional banking and finance then in this new DeFi space, right? The stable coins are it sounds like a very important piece that needs to be well, I don't know whether you would say standardized, regulated, I mean, how important do you think the stable coins are when you start thinking about the DeFi space in general? Where do you rank the importance of stable coins?
So stable coins within an AMM and a DEX, automated market maker itself, they're going to be very important. So for institutional adoption, there's going to need to be stable coins for value to actually change. They're going to be using crypto, but stable coins will be one of the main mechanisms of value transfers, because in our real world here that you and I are living, pinch myself kind of thing, real world, physical world, we operate on dollars and cents still, and currency, and stable coins are the new extension or derivatives of that. So for the economy to exist still, each country and jurisdiction has its own sovereign currency still. We have the Canadian dollar, you have the US dollar. So for Canada to interact with US, that stable coin has to transfer the value still. There's going to be crypto within there still that they might use to make money for the Corporation of Canada, but stable coins within the country of Canada is our main mechanism of payment here, essentially. So they're very, very.
Oh, I think you froze.
Very important. Very important.
There it is.
We have a couple questions in here. Comment from Payme and XLM says, great insights on Australia moves. Atlantic Living, are you favorable of the 8 major ISO 2022 projects?
That depends on which 8 you're talking about. If you're talking about XRP, XLM, Quant, Hedera, HBAR, what else is there?
Algorand.
Yeah, Algorand. Those ones, I definitely am favorable of them. I do hold those, not just because they adhere to ISO technical standards. Well, the companies adhere to the ISO technical standards and the coin is the offering itself, but because they allow for interoperability, and because they're layer 1 blockchains, and because they're used and the companies are partnered with big players in the industry, and you can legit watch the moves that they're making and the infrastructure they're building in the background. So depending on what 8 you're talking about, because it varies from article to article, essentially. Yes, I guess I could say I am.
Can you just touch on there's always the controversy over what they call the ISO coins, and people saying XRP is ISO 2022 compliant, and people say no, that's the company. Can you just describe for the audience what the actual ISO 2022 messaging system is? I mean, that's really what it is, right? It's the messaging within it's the transferring of the information, right? Well, kind of touch on that.
Yeah, essentially, it's not the coin that's ISO compliant; it's the company that's ISO compliant. There's a group called the ISO, and they create the groups or create the standard. And in this ISO 20022, Ripple is actually on the managing board of this particular standard itself. So you'll hear most people say ISO coins. We don't actually mean ISO coins. we're talking about the company itself. But the coin itself, we just say the coin because the company adheres to this regulatory guidance itself in terms of interoperability and the messaging. It's rich data. You're getting rich data now that's being allowed to be transferred back and forth. With the old traditional world, or with the incumbent banks, and when I say incumbents, I mean like, you know, your JP Morgans, your Lloyd Banks, or whatever have you that everybody knows. They send messages with the transfer of the currency, and you can only get up to a certain amount of characters within that message being sent. Now with rich data messaging through ISO 2002222, known as MX messaging, whereas the old world is known as MT messaging, you can now send like messages. If you ever notice when you go to send crypto to your wallet or to somebody else, you can type your own messages now and make them as long as you want and send it off. Yep. So there's particular requirements now within this ISO message that needs to be sent, which the company has to create their product to adhere to. So you can send your own message. They want to know necessarily who the person is, essentially, who the recipient is. So from me, Mr. Man, to Melissa, how much is being sent, when it's being sent, and there might be the geolocation of where it's being sent from. And then on the other side of things, it's when it was received, who sent it, where did you receive it, at what time did you receive it, and what the message was that Mr. Man had sent to Melissa. So now there's more information being sent.
You know, this makes sense to me, like especially in the accounting world. And I just think of how this is going to change things when you're sending payments to each other. A lot of stuff has to be done manually because once that payment comes in, it doesn't know where to go, and there hasn't been enough spots to put information. But with this new system, being able to put the information in there and then building, like you say, building your system to receive it, basically, right? To be able to receive this information. If you owe me money and it was supposed to be paid on a certain date and blah, 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 all that information can come through and then get posted how it needs to be posted. Which, I mean, I think that's really interesting. Joanna McGrath says, research ISO 2022, only the top cryptocurrencies are being front and center. Check for patents of the project of interest. Example, Vechain has their patent for ISO 2022, but no one's talking about it. Yeah, you don't hear a lot of people talking about Vechain, but that is one of my early ones that I kind of started looking into, and my gut told me Vechain was going to be something special.
Yeah, I got that same gut feeling as you when I first jumped into the space too, and someone was talking about Vechain, and I went down the rabbit hole into Vechain too for supply chain management, and we're in an era right now where Air Canada in Canada is becoming fragmented and going on strike. There's no planes in the air, there's no cargo moving. When COVID came around and we were on lockdown and the supply chain began to crumble, we could have known about the shipping containers that have been stockpiling out in California through a company such as Vechain. We could have known. I'm not a proponent who backs the vaccinations, but I mean, you could have kept track on where the vaccinations were, what the temperature was. There was several hundreds of thousands of cartons that ended up getting thrown out of Canadian dollars being wasted on these vaccines because they had when they finally arrived at location, they were just no good. Again, I'm not condoning these vaccinations at all, but in terms of Canadian dollar being wasted, there could have been companies put in place to track these things to begin with.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Gosh, there's a lot of different questions in here.
Side note, if you wanted to get some Vechain right now at 2.2 cents, not a bad price. Its all-time high is 26 cents. That's a nice day to track for a beautiful 10x. When it hits that all-time high again, you know, just
Just
Telling
put
you
it
about
out there.
I'm putting hopium out there for all you people. Might be a
Yeah.
play.
Joanna says Vechain can track raw material to end user. Think how powerful that is. That's right, Joanna. And that's where when I first started looking into Vechain, that's what I noticed. And I was like, okay, this is something that is gonna. A lot of people were like, now it's from China. It's China. So everybody
Gotta
told
get
me
around that
don't
crap.
buy that.
Gotta get
Yeah.
around that crap, man. It's
Yeah.
you gotta
The whole
ignore the
the
bannerism.
whole world. The thing is, yes, that's the thing is the whole world is participating in this new
That's what I'm
world.
saying.
Like
Yeah.
the future is us working together actually. And
That's
if
right.
you listen to any of these conferences, you're going to see people from all walks of life, all different countries coming together and talking about this stuff and figuring out how they're going to work together. It's pretty remarkable. When you really start giving it your attention, it's remarkable and it's exciting. And so I'm very stoked for it. I'm so glad you're here, Mr. Man. So I want to kind of get back real quick to stablecoins and how they integrate with DeFi protocols. And first, if what is a DeFi protocol? For the dip-a-toers, what is a DeFi protocol? What is a protocol?
So a DeFi protocol essentially allows an automated market maker to exist, which essentially just makes markets. So one example being the liquidity providing, I explained through like essentially the RTGS system. Another example I provided was the with real estate, because I own real estate now as well through Lofty, which is a layer 2 on Algorand, and I can essentially tap into real estate through DeFi. They make that market for me. I can own a fractional share of that market or that real estate, and they provide a token for me that says that Mr. Man owns this now. So if I want to sell it, flip it, buy it, whatever, trade it, that's up to me how I want to go about it. But that market is being made in the sense of the XRP ledger or the XRPL. Their AMM came out fairly recently still, because there wasn't any before. So there's 3 platforms I could think of immediately. X-Magnetic. I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm not going to go into that. There is DexFi. I'm still in the process of vetting that. I've been chatting with the developer in the back end. And then there's Orchestra Finance, which Dave Schwartz had spoken about before. And essentially what it does, because XRP offers pathfinding, I can provide liquidity within a particular pair. So, for instance, XRP and Corium. And anytime that is swapped, someone wants to swap from XRP to Corium, a fee is being paid. Who's it being paid to? Myself, because I have a position there. But it's not just as simple as that. It could just be XRP being swapped for Corium, or it could be XRP being swapped for Corium by means of XRP. Then it goes to Sologenic, then it goes to something else like USDC, then it finally gets to Corium itself. So that's the pathfinding it would have to take. So because XRP offers that in terms of pathfinding, and because we have this automated market maker, this interface, this can exist now. I can tap into that. I hope that makes sense. I hope it's simple, like I explained that simply.
I mean, I will have to listen to it back because you did.
Oh, I got it.
You laid it out.
I got it.
To make it to where I can listen. I want to welcome Susan Black. Welcome to the show. Heather Lee just popped in. And of course, our wonderful friend Optimistic Prime is here in the house to support you, Mr. Man.
What's up, Optimistic?
Yeah. So yeah, the XRP, so for the DeFi, you don't necessarily need the stable coin for DeFi then. You don't need it. But
no, you don't.
What is so significant? Why did everybody get so excited with Ripple's RLUSD and the importance of that pushing along this DeFi space, like contributing to this DeFi space. Why did everybody get so excited about that? Do you know?
That's a good question, because so with the stablecoin entering the DeFi ecosystem now, you have stability, price stability. And for me to want to send somebody money or swap for a currency, I want to tap into the arbitrage. I bought low, price appreciated up. I can swap for something else that's cheaper now, and I get that. I don't, or it's price stability of this currency and price stability of this currency. It's an even swap, or as close as it gets with minimal slippage. So because you have something like XRP in the center there acting as the intermediary, the slippage is 3 to 5 seconds essentially. And because RLUSD operates on a wholesale stable coin, you can now get the BlackRocks of the world, the Vanguards of the world, the Franklin Templetons of the world that can, if they want, should they choose, tap into that. Ripple has said that this is something that their customers are demanding from them. For instance, in some of my DeFi pairs, there's basic volatility, and then there is concentrated volatility. And this becomes really convoluted and difficult to explain without like tools and
yeah,
stuff.
It does. You got it though, bro. I believe in you.
So for basic volatility, I have a 50-50 split, and then because they're both fairly stable, tied to each other, they don't move that much. So the APR that it's stated that I'm going to get, I'll get. Picture the APR when you go to purchase a vehicle, you're paying $15,000 plus the 3% APR. That makes sense? So the APR, that fee, the APR, which is the interest, that goes to the bank who loaned you the money for that vehicle. So in the sense of crypto, because I have my money or my crypto invested in this stable pair, basic volatility, as basic as it gets, right? Picture a blue chip investment. You walk into your investment management team, and you're like, okay, I want to invest in something with like little to no risk. And they're like, all right, Mr.
At least he froze in a super cool pose.
Man, I got you. Here's what we'll do. Apple, fairly stable. Apple has been fairly stable, essentially, up until recently. And they're like, all right, Mr. Man, you're in Apple. I'm like, okay, cool. I know what Apple does. They're like, they're fairly stable. They're not making they're not like Bitcoin. So that's basic volatility. Then you have concentrated volatility, where it could be a stable coin pegged to like a meme coin, with the stable coin being USDC and the meme coin being something like Pepe. Your stable coin, it's a stable value. So if you're trying to swap this pair to this pair, this one's stable and this one's like up and down and all around, all over the place. So it's never going to be stable if you're trying to swap this one here. So what you're earning isn't going to be as great of an amount versus a basic, unless you have time to be at your computer to check this out. Unless, because we're moving into an era of digitization and automation, you look into data aggregators. Now this is something else too, and this is a whole other level of automation here. But this is automation. For instance, there's a tool known as Vfat. If you go to vfat.io, you can connect your Coinbase wallet to it. It can control. Mr. Man can't say enough. Thank you. That's awesome. That's right. So with Vfat, it can tap into your Coinbase wallet. Coinbase is a layer 2 on Ethereum, essentially. So it taps into your Coinbase wallet, and it can see what assets you have in there, and then you can use this Vfat platform as the platform that connects to Aerodrome. I'm telling you, it's getting convoluted here. Aerodrome is built on top of Base. So you have Ethereum, you have Base, which is from Circle, and then you have Aerodrome as a layer 3 on top. Aerodrome offers the DeFi interface that you would go on your computer or your phone to tap into these DEXs and AMMs. So with Vfat, that just adds another layer on top, but this layer is a data aggregator, and it communicates with Aerodrome, which is the DeFi interface that you're looking at. So now what you're looking at isn't Aerodrome, you're looking at Vfat. So with Vfat, you can tap into automation now. And it takes those wild fluctuations and movements, and it keeps rebalancing and shifting things for you. So you can be in that higher APR, say 200. I've seen a snapshot where I was earning over 2,200%.
Yes.
Wow.
You know, like this is unheard of. I was earning over 2,200%. And that's just wild to think that you can tap into that. So that's the kind of automation that some of these data aggregators can bring in and help you level up in the world of DeFi.
Can I ask you a question?
That,
Can I ask this real quick? So if I'm understanding, because of the, like you gave the example of Pepe against was it XRP or USD? USDC. So when you're creating your pairs in there, what that would mean is, say the value of your Pepe was fluctuating and going down. That would mean in order for your pair to be equal, you would have to put in some more Pepe, right? To raise the value, the money up to meet your USDC, right? So that it's similar, or what? What is that?
No. You don't have to. You don't have to keep
zero.
You're not. So the goal isn't to try to keep 50-50 and keep refilling this one bag that's rapidly moving wildly. They're a pair itself. So as this one shoots off up or shoots off down and depegs this supposedly stable pairing itself, this one that's moving is devaluing itself or could be increasing its value. So if Pepe goes up against a stable coin, this one here is gaining value and this one is diminishing in value. So you're actually gaining more of this and losing more of this. If this Pepe goes down, you're losing more Pepe and you're gaining more USDC. So for you to reestablish your position again, you would have to rebalance it. So there's a few ways to do that depending on the DeFi protocol you're using. Aerodrome, Crystal Finance, StellarX, Aquarius. It all depends on what you're using. With I don't remember which platform it was. I think it was Crystal Platform. You can essentially just rebalance in real time. But with rebalancing, it could mean that you're closing out on your position. So you could be losing one of your crypto and then reestablishing your position again, if that makes sense. So you've lost on this one here, the Pepe went down, so you can close out that position. So you went from experiencing impermanent loss to securing that impermanent loss and making it a permanent loss at that point, just to get back into that position again. So with a data aggregator such as Vfat automatically can rebalance for you. And because it's a data aggregator, there's fees, but it's smaller fees.
It's worth it. It sounds like if you don't have to be there 24/7 looking at it, right? I mean,
it definitely can be. I'm not going to say it is, but it definitely can be. It's a good tool.
How do you spell
for what it offers and what it does. So Victor, Fat, Vfat, Vfat.io.
Vfat.io. Vfat.io. Put that in there so I can remember.
Yeah, and when you first see it, it's gonna look confusing as hell. I'm being very, very serious. If I could share my screen, I'll give you a quick overview of it. Let me see.
Sure.
Okay, share screen.
Hasn't popped up on my end yet. I want to say give a shout out to Crypto for Life, Mr. James McFadden. Thanks for stopping by the show. We appreciate you. And Mr. Northern Living, our friend Landon, is here joining us, and we want to say hello to you as well. Optimistic Prime, when assessing an AMM, what % of value should be in the liquidity pool to offer trust and credibility? That's a good question. Oh, K-Buddy's here. Hello, my friend. All right, let me see. Add to stage. Is that it?
Let's go.
So
that's my
what
world.
You're
that's my world right there. I like
there
all that.
is my. This is real time. This is my one of my liquidity pools. This is Vfat itself for me. So essentially, this is my deposit here.
Yep.
This is my APR, so percent for a total of 682%. This one is out of range right now, so that's going to be rebalanced soon. On the daily, I'm going to earn about $100. Weekly, $600. Monthly, $3,000. Yearly, about $45,000 from my $5,200 investment. This one.
Now that's if everything stays
this is
relatively
on the
track,
platform, but I can migrate it should I want. What's that?
I said your the numbers that you were sharing with us on the on your portfolio there, the daily, the weekly, the monthly, the yearly. That's if all those conditions that's projected if everything stays the same relatively, right?
That's correct. But again, the APR changes depending on if people buy into these pools and lock in or secure their value in there, which is known as TVL, total value locked in. And then you continually get the swaps, right, for fees. And then you want that 24-hour volume taking place. So to answer Optimistic Prime's question, I look for something, protocols or liquidity pools that offer high TVL. So something over 4 million. I want something that has money locked in there. Two protocols that people believe in enough to secure money in there. So, for instance, a good protocol that could be good because people believe in or know Bitcoin and Ethereum, should that exist, I'm sure there's hundreds of millions of swaps that happen between those two. So those two could be good.
Right.
XRP, XLM could be good kind of thing. The reason, one of the reasons XRP is as low as it is, and same with Stellar, there's no money locked in there in these liquidity pools for them. The TVLs for them, very, very low, right? Because the you and me of the world, we get our XRP and we're like, you know what? I've learned enough. I'm going to lock my stuff in my cold wallet, and that's it. That's it. I'm not doing anything else in there with it. I'm not losing that at all. So there's like next to no money locked in there. I was in an XRP AMM on X Magnetic when XRP locked.
Dude, that was fire! Oh my god! Sorry,
what happened?
I was a part of that.
the X Magnetic buildup.
Yeah, I this was quite a few months ago when I saw you. This was like April that I kind of jumped in on the X Magnetic and XRP run there. That was a great run.
That was sweet, man. I was myself, Aquaman, I want to say Cypress and a few others. We were in there from TVL, total value locked was 1.1 million, and we watched this buildup of and it went up to like $9.5 million. So from 400 XRP, I withdrew 10,000 XRP. I was like, oh my gosh, this was wild. Wild. In a few months, man, that was wild. So like I don't even know how many X that was for my bag at that point, you know. So most people are afraid to try these things and see what this new world offers. But the winners of this space are the ones who are willing to try and fail and try again and fail and learn from these lessons, because whatever you're afraid to try, it's coming into our world regardless. It's coming in. So
Yep.
learn about it now, because if not, you're going to be operating on a lower frequency. I mean, you're going to be getting lower APRs. You know, most people think, you know, I get 5% a year from my bank. That's awesome. Wow, whoop-de-doo, you get 5%. I just showed you I was earning over 1,400%. Like,
Yeah.
What
that's
kind
unheard
of,
of.
if I may ask, for your windfall, what kind of money were you talking that you were risking by participating in that?
Oh,
Were you, or what
With
was
my,
it? Were you talking a lot that you earned 10,000 coins?
so with my bags, because I'm still learning, I'm not willing to connect my big bags, my hardware wallet, to any protocols at all. That stays in my Faraday bag, you know, in its place, and that's where it stays. I don't touch my big bag. I don't send anything from there at all. That stays there. What I do, I keep separate bags. So for instance, I have my big XRP bag, I have my Xamin wallet, I have a Decent wallet, and then I have my Play bag as well. So whatever I'm willing to play with, I'll put it in this bag here. I'll connect the protocols. Should something happen and I lose the 400 XRP, whatever. If I lose 200 XLM, whatever. It's shit. It's terrible to lose that, but I mean, the risk versus reward, you have to do your own evaluation. My risk versus reward, I'm not a huge fan of the platform X Magnetic for my own reasons, doing my own due diligence, but I was still willing to take the chance and see what it could do for myself in terms of yield. And the risk versus reward at that time for me, I was in. So I had no issue staking 400 XRP in there for that liquidity pool and watched it run up at that point.
Holy smokes.
So again,
man,
I'm not
I wish
connecting.
I would have jumped in on that. I was too scared.
Again, I'm not connecting my big bag. I started
Yeah.
another small bag that I can play around with. I'm not willing to risk my bags at all. But a small bag, sure. Let's learn about this. Let's play with this stuff. I mean, we all
Yes,
had taken
exactly.
shots coming into this crypto space. We all got scammed. We all lost money. We all, right? So why stop that growth? Why
Right.
stop the learning? Keep educating yourself. Keep growing. Keep learning. Trial and
Do
error is how we
not
learn.
get the arrival syndrome. No
Now,
arrival syndrome.
I know that we don't have you for very much longer. How much time we got, Mr.
8
Man?
minutes.
I got
'Cause
about
knew
20
you-
minutes. I got about 20.
Okay. So, for someone new to DeFi, and you know, how would you recommend they get started? I mean, is there a checklist or a set of guidelines that you can help the beginners navigate the DeFi space safely and effectively? Or is, you know, knowing they're going to go into something, but do you have something like that or a guideline? What would you recommend for us newbies?
There is. I've been working on a DeFi a portfolio tracker in Google Sheets, and I'm gifting the sheets to my group, which is the Wealth 28 Club, which would be Cypress, or no, you guys know them as Cyprex, and
Yep.
Aquaman, and they're the two that operate that platform there, and they present fire within the group. The community is continuously talking. There's always something going on. They're providing strategies. They're providing platforms to use. The three of us vet platforms. We present information, what we like, don't like. We go into the regulations, what's coming down. We'll talk about the IOSCO regulations, because IOSCO has a re-evaluation of DeFi coming up in 2025. SUI is a DeFi protocol itself. SUI has now partnered with USDC, while Circle. So now we have stablecoins and DeFi platforms itself. SUI has partnered with Copper.co. With Copper.co is institutional custody. So you have institutional money here in USDC. You now have this DeFi protocol, and you got custody over there. So like, you have a holy trinity taking place right there. So the more you learn, the better off you are.
Mr. Man, let me ask you something. If you had a place where you could just say borrow $500, small interest rate, very small, simple interest maybe, would you borrow that funds, put it in DeFi, and just let it roll, per se?
In all honesty, absolutely, I would, man.
All right.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. So go ahead.
With my tracking sheet that I've made, and I'm just now checking it for bugs and errors and calculation formula errors. I'm coming to the conclusion that on the daily now, without working, because I stopped working from January. For those who follow my page know I stopped working from January 26th or 29th, 2024, and I've been on this DeFi journey. And now, so in July, again, full disclosure, with DeFi, with the three that you saw at the very, very top of that Vfat up there, those aren't on an automated platform. Those are not on Vfat. Those are directly on Aerodrome. I was able to bring in $10,000 for July, and I was on vacation, as you
That's
guys
incredible.
know. I was traveling across Canada, heading out to the east. August, though, when there was that haircut that had taken place in the market, when Japan, something was going on with Japan. I don't remember what it was, but something in Japan. I was still only, and mark my words, only able to bring in $3,000, but that's $3,000 of passive income I didn't have to do anything to other than provide liquidity to that protocol. That's it. And still, I'm in a situation right now where I'm earning on average about $250 a day still.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So
that's incredible.
Now, Mr. Man, question for you. Asking for a friend. When you've had those good months there, are you taking your 3,000 per se? Did you move that somewhere else to have that money, your money that, or your asset that made more assets, and now you've taken it and you've sticking it somewhere else, and now it's going to make more assets? Are you doing a play like that, my friend?
You better believe I am. I'm operating on what's known as yield on yield on yield. So essentially, on Aerodrome, you earn in the cryptocurrency on that platform known as Aero. So you have the platform Aerodrome. Aerodrome pays you an Aero. So I had taken my earnings, which was Aero, and I'd gone to another platform known as XtraFi. And on XtraFi, you can lend, you can stake, and you can farm. So XtraFi offers lending for Aero at 63%. So I lent my Aero out, and I was earning 63% on my Aero. So that was the money I had just got, the $10,000, put that into there. Now the $10,000 here is earning 63%. I have another one, another pair, Wrapped ETH and Klima. Klima's a carbon credit crypto company, DAO, essentially a DAO. And they're sitting at about 223% religiously around that stable. And it's basic volatility, meaning I don't have to be on the charts to check this stuff out. I don't have to go to my phone to see where the economy's going, because it's basic. I mean, that's not saying I can't experience a huge drop, because I've experienced that before, and I'm still sitting in one now. But when I earn that, I can take that Aero, swap it to Klima if I want, and then lend that out, because that one on XtraFi, I'm lending that out at 200 and something % as well over there. So I get the money here on Aerodrome. When it pays out, when I choose to pay it out and claim that emissions, I take it and lend it out over there again. So it's yield on yield. And I say yield on yield on yield because I earned what I earned from real estate and my other investments. I take that, put it on here, earn some more yield, take this yield, put it over there. So it's just a continuous loop of,
and see, for me, I'm going to be throwing that into my infinite banking concept strategy. I mean, that's where that's just going to go. It's going to grow, because there I get a guaranteed rate of return over there, yield on yield on yield digitally, back out into the real world, and then back out into the digital. That's really the plays right there, man. A foot in both pools, so to speak. Optimistic Prime still had a question here. Looks like so. If you were starting from scratch, what percentage should I/me, you, or whomever be taking from the sell of the liquidity pool? Optimistic, are you talking about how much?
Her
Go ahead.
original question was, if she's selling her Zone coin, what % from the sale should she put in the AMM?
So that particular question, I won't answer because that's an individual assessment somebody would have to make. But for myself, if I was playing, playing in the FX stocks, essentially playing in the foreign exchange, and I made some money, anything I made at that point, I'm going to go and put that into a protocol, into an AMM liquidity pool, so I can earn more money on that. Because if I manage to beat the market and make some money here, I want to put that money to work. I don't want to keep it and save it and sit on it and be like, oh my gosh, I made money. I want to have my money, make more money, so then this more money can make more money and continue to make money. Right? So one of the things I want to set up for myself is, once I get my yield, put this yield here and have this yield over here. Simon was talking about IBC, infinite banking concept. I want to have this DeFi protocol go into that. I want to have another DeFi protocol go towards the funding of my new house I want to build. I want to have another DeFi protocol go into, say, a car, because then these DeFi protocols can pay for whatever it is in your life, as opposed to you having to give up your time for money. Time is money. There's no amount of money that you can earn going to work that's worth your time. Have your money work for you. That way you can have more time to do what you love to do. I just got back from a 2-month vacation. I've never done that before. I'm not rich in money, but I'm wealthy in what I own, what I have, and I don't own much at all.
But see, but
you have your time. You have your time. Time is your most
valuable. You have your life.
Asset.
You have your life. Like, literally, you have your life, because your time is your life. Yep, exactly, Melissa. Knuckle bumps on that.
So we don't have that much time. So what are some of the best DeFi platforms for beginners? And then could you share some tips and resources for them? So for people that are wanting to dip their toe into this, because this does sound very exciting. And I want you to share how folks can get in touch with the Club 28 if that's something that anybody might be interested in. I know I'm interested. I mean, I can play around with $400 or $500 XRP, right? I can mess around with that and dip my toe, but I don't know where to start. So what is the best platform for a beginner, and what do I need to do? Where do I start? I mean, that's like a loaded question.
That's a loaded question.
So if we're looking at resources, I would tap into the Wealth 28 Club first, because they have, Cypress presents PDF, he presents market breakdowns. Then you have Aquaman talking about all the different protocols that he tested out and tried, and he's gone through many. I'm sure if you've gone to his page, you'll see him talking and pointing at the screen, telling you that you could be earning this and you could be earning that amount. And the biggest thing is, most people say, I'm not giving him my XRP. It doesn't have to be XRP. This is cryptocurrency. There are thousands of them. The first protocol that I went into was Aerodrome. I find it simple, very, very simple to use. Because it's an Ethereum platform, Aerodrome, built on top of Base. Base is Circle's bridge, essentially. You need to have Ethereum in the Coinbase wallet, and then bridge some Ethereum to Base. And the reason you need to bridge some Ethereum on Base and have Ethereum in your Coinbase wallet, because when you move certain crypto back and forth, you need to pay a network fee here and a network fee there. Opposed to popular demand, Ethereum, the fees aren't as high as people would assume they are. So when I assign my smart contract on Base or through the Ethereum, through the Aerodrome platform, it's like 1 cent or 2 cents. Very cheap. And the way that fee is paid is because you have Ethereum locked in on that platform. So it's just as simple as holding Ethereum on Coinbase wallet, bridging some to Base, and they have that right in the platform in the Coinbase wallet app itself. You bridge it over to Base, hold some Ethereum there, and once you have Ethereum there, now you can get all the USDC you want and just send it over to your Coinbase wallet, and you'll have that on the Ethereum platform because it's in your Coinbase wallet. Again, Coinbase wallet is based on ETH. You're gonna have to bridge some of that USDC or whatever currency that is over to Base, and now that you're in Base with your USDC, you can go to the Aerodrome, and the website is aerodrome.finance, and that'll bring you into the that DEX there, that AMM DEX, the Aerodrome. And now that you're in there and in that interface, it'll show you the coins or the cryptocurrencies that you have and hold on Base. So because you made the initiative to send a bunch of USDC over from Ethereum to Base, you'll see the USDC in your wallet through the Aerodrome protocol. So from there, you can swap to Aero, swap to Klima, swap to Wrapped ETH, whatever you want, whatever the pools they offer there, based on the total value locked, based on the volume, the 24-hour volume. So things I look for something with at least 1 to 4 million minimum TVL, total value locked. In terms of volume, total value locked. That means the people of the world believe in these pairs and they're throwing money in there to have money locked and sitting there. That's the Nostro Vostro accounts we were talking about earlier, Melissa. So yes. it still exists. It's just now you can tap into it. And now I've looked for a high TVL. I look for a high 24-hour volume too. That's just people swapping between these two pairs. How much money is made swapping? What's the volume amount going through those pairs itself, right?
Right, the daily
dollar value. And then the APR. The APR is what is essentially the fee that person swapping those currencies has to pay for, right? Anytime you swap a currency, there's slippage and then there's a fee, a platform fee. But in this case, the fee goes to you. And that fee is known as APR, and in different protocols, like a lending protocol, it's known as APY. But for this, we're talking about APR. So what's that APR percentage that you're earning annually at this point? You can go for something as conservative as 6%, something as conservative as 20%. And again, 20% is high. I'm talking about DeFi. So I'm saying 20% is conservative. It's blue chip. It's okay.
Yeah.
There might not be much fluctuation from this protocol. So I can at least average 20% annually. Then you get some high APRs where there could be like I've seen some that literally just say warning. That's all they say is warning. Because the APR on those things might be like 2 million%, something stupid like that.
Yeah, stupid.
So all they show you is warning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
I mean, do you think these projects that are in there doing that, they're like kind of running some tests? So like obviously it's not going to stay this way, right? It's because we're at the beginning of creating all of these different products and how they're going to work together with one another. And so, just like we're able to purchase some of these assets for pennies on the dollar now before the masses get wind of it, the same thing for these DeFi protocols that are out there. It won't always be this way, right? I mean, logic tells you it won't always be that way. And it is risky. It is a more risky thing. But for those of us that have dipped our toe in, now I'm probably up to my shin, and so I think I am ready to try to do a little DeFi. I mean, hell, I'm an ambassador for the Shikaka coin, which is on the Base chain. Miss Optimistic Prime is too, and she put that on there, Shikaka. they're part of base. I don't know, if we could ever get them in this DeFi thing, but wouldn't that be cool? If we could get them to participate somehow.
Ken, anybody can make a pool, but you have to get the people believe in it to begin to lock their value in there, though. So if there's no APR, there's no volume move, there's no total value locked, no one's going in that pool.
No one's going to
do it. So
there
has to be an initial investor or initial investors to get that going.
Landon says they'll need a one-on-one dictatorial to get into this. I feel you, Landon.
Hey, it's real deal. It's a hell of a lot easier than you think it is.
Yeah,
to participate.
Yeah,
it really is. And not what is it? Not promoting. I'm speaking from my personal experience. I have taken the Well 28 Club membership for going through the videos and the PDFs that Cypherx does a great job. Aquaman as well. And there was some stuff for myself that like. And Cypher's even says it. He's like, if you're a seasoned person, there's going to be some information here that it's going to be boring because you already know it. You've heard it a million times, but it might not be a bad idea for the refresher. Valid, facts. It was really,
out, Mr. Man.
Yeah, it was really good. So for 30 days, $28, you can go through that with yourselves. Like seriously, it's $28.
There's a discount right now too on the website. It'll save you like $1.50 or so. If you want to dip a toe, if you just search out Wealth Club 28, it'll come up. I put the link in the chat. For those that might be interested, get in there and look around and listen.
Look around and learn. Go with the learning attitude, because that's what I did. I had a couple $100 that I threw in. I'm good with that. I could blow that in a weekend, one night, no problem. You know what I mean? And it worked out pretty good for me. I was happy. I had some other things come up and I had to rearrange resources, but DeFi folks, if I know some of you might not be focused on this because it can seem intimidating, but once you really kind of get your toes in the pool, I promise you will pick up the flow and you'll see the things that Mr. Man has shared with us tonight. Even though he's giving us a lot of detail, our minds are, I'm telling you, be like, oh, I get this now. But DeFi is here. It's coming full steam ahead. We just had some individuals that were in Congress talking to the Congress members up there about DeFi. Like it was there. Hello, we've been down this road before. Go learn. At least go learn about it. That's right.
I got two things to say. The first one is don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
Yeah, don't be scared.
And then the second one is Mika is coming December 30th, 2024, which is now solidifying stablecoins in the ecosystem in Europe within SEPA, Single European Payments Association, I think it is. And then the next version of Mika will encompass DeFi. So let that one sit in your head for a bit. That's where we're at. Stablecoins go first.
40 countries
become legitimate.
40 countries.
Yeah.
40 countries harmonizing. And then DeFi is coming into play at some level. Oh, hello.
We were supposed to talk about Mika and we ran out of time. So that's a little tantalizing bit to throw out there, little nugget. But yeah, that's the markets and crypto assets. If anybody wants to look that up, it's called MiCA, MiCA regulation, and it's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big deal. We'll have to have you back on to talk about MiCA, Mr. Man.
Absolutely. Whenever you're ready again, I'm here.
Appreciate it, man. Always.
Any final thoughts? Yeah.
On the show.
I guess in terms of final thoughts, spent a lot of time centered around DeFi. You've come this far in the crypto world to learn about this stuff. You're investing in a speculative assets to begin with. Don't don't let me say don't, but don't allow your mind to shut off based off of fear, to not allow yourself to take the next step forward to learn about DeFi. Again, I've shown you guys one of my portfolios of the $5,300 and how much my projected is to earn. I'm in DeFi with real estate. There's going to be DeFi with whatever you can think of now. Everything's going to be digital. Everything will allow for DeFi. Every and anything. Anything you can flip and make money, you can do it because there'll be a value to it. So either you are afraid to learn it now before everybody else, or you'll be forced to learn it with everybody else. Either way, it's coming and there's nothing you can do about it. So I think it makes sense to take a look at it now, learn it, understand it, tap in to where the APRs are extremely high right now, but understand the protocols that you're getting in because you must believe in them first. I don't believe in Pepe, so I'm not in any meme coins trying to secure $20 million APRs. That's unrealistic. That sounds like a rug pull waiting to happen, right?
Yeah.
Be realistic. Treat this as an investment because it's your money. You're here to make money. There will be times where you lose money, but take that loss as a chance to step back and learn from it, and then proceed further again. Learn from that, reevaluate, and keep going.
That's fantastic.
Amen to that.
If people want to reach out to you or follow your channel, where can they find you at, Mr. Man?
You can hit me up on Twitter. My handle is @MrManXRP. You can also check me out on YouTube. I go by the name Mr. Man Crypto Talk over there. Yeah, I'm very active on Twitter. That's where I post most of my information. But for those of you who want a bit more, I guess, intimate setting, I do have a Patreon. I offer the Patreon for free, and I provide a wealth of knowledge there for free. But for those of you guys who want to get deeper, I do have a locked group, which is only $10 a month. In that we have town halls every Friday. And then there's another group that I have there, which is $150 a month. But in that, it's one-to-one access. We talk whenever you're ready to talk. We discuss whatever you want to discuss. We go into what to go into. And this is you and I, one-to-one, texting, phone message, emails, whatever it is you need. I will help you set up the way I have my thing set up. I will help you make your money with you. And that's essentially how a business works. I'm here to help you make your money. So
very cool. If somebody wanted to do that, where how do they reach out to you to sign up for something like that, for the one-on-one?
I can after this interview here, I can give you the link to that. I don't have it with me right now.
Yeah.
I was doing my best to keep the group small. I'm not trying to.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to let it get too big. I do like the small, intimate setting where we can just have like a nice group chat, as opposed to, you know, you leave for an hour, come back, and there's like 3,000 messages. And it's like, I'm not going to go back and read that conversation. So right now there's about 33 of us. Majority of them are free, but we're all part of this big group and we're all learning together. And the knowledge and the information that you get is a wealth of knowledge. And a lot of it, I don't post on Twitter either. I keep some of these snippets I post on Twitter. I present the full video there and the snippets of what it was on Twitter in the group, so you can go back and watch the entire video as well and see what it was that I was digging into.
Well, I will definitely put that link in a description box below this video. So whenever you get it, I'll grab it and pop it in there.
Absolutely.
We want to thank you.
I do want to say one more thing too. Within the $10 groups or the paid groups for the Patreon, every Friday night we hold a town hall, and we have some, I want to say, names in there. There could be myself talking about what's going on in the crypto market. Simon's been there for a few of them. Melissa's been there for a few of them. I've had Jay Claver there to talk about world strategies. I've had Ray Fuentes from Link2 coming in to talk about strategies with Link2. I've had Aquaman come in to talk about DeFi. This Friday coming up, I have an individual from Nigeria who's a business owner to talk about boots on the ground in Nigeria and what their digital ecosystem out there is like. The following week, I'm going to be having Cypress and Aquaman to talk about DeFi. Then the week after that, I would love to have Simon, if you're available still. We could talk about the infinite banking concept. Essentially, if you center yourself around individuals who are like-minded with you, There's no other option but success at this point. So we all offer
Amen to
something
that.
here, and we're all trying to create wealth, not just for ourselves, but for each other. And when you're ready
That's
to do
right.
business, the first people you're going to do business with are the people that you know and that you've centered
Exactly.
yourself around. So that's the
That's
group
right.
that I'm trying to build here.
Now you would I mean there's that right there, Mr. Man. That is a sentiment that is going on that I am seeing that's happening. That's happening. It's happening. Small groups are getting built together to build wealth, to come together for that. So man, I'm grateful to be a part of yours. It's a wonderful thing. But I'm down. I'm down for the IBC discussion. You let me know. I'll book it, Dano, and we'll just do it. Cool.
Perfect. Sounds great. That was my closing remarks.
Mic drop.
We love you. We thank you. We thank you so much. We thank you so much. And hopefully we'll have you back real soon and we can touch more on Micah.
That would be wonderful. I look forward to providing information on Micah because there's a wealth of knowledge on Micah coming out.
Dope.
All right, Mr. Man. I promise we'd keep you at a reasonable amount of time. Thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure. We will see you next time.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
All right.
Take care, Mr. Man.
Well, that was a fantastic interview. Very, very, very nice.
Yeah.
Appreciated him coming on.
Yes. Yes.
And we're doing good because we're under 2 hours still. So we're making our way. Any final thoughts for tonight's show, Mr. Simon Says Crypto?
Yeah. Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. Huh? Do not be scared.
Actually, yes. I just wanted to, tag back onto what Mr. Man was really trying to emphasize on, and I'm going to tie you into this as well. And it is don't be scared. I really recommend, and I am recommending person to everybody else out there that's listening, that you learn about DeFi. Okay, because what DeFi can really teach you in real time processes that have been going on in our financial and banking systems globally for decades, arguably up for hundreds of years. Okay, might have different names, might have had different mechanics in the background, but the principles are the same. The principles are very, very much the same, and so if you're coming from that mindset of wanting to learn, which that's what I did, because one day I was driving home. I saw Mr. Man on. He was doing a live with Cypherx and Aquaman. I was like, whoa, all right. I've never seen these cats here. Let's give it a listen. Right. And I was listening, and it was on DeFi, and I'd been exposed to DeFi earlier in my journey, but I backed away from it because it was just a lot of information. And I knew for me, I was like, you know what? I don't think I can totally focus on this thing. And I want to. I know it's going to need my, most of my attention, not my free time, but just, minimal distractions. And I was going through a lot of stuff then. But here it is. Universe provided me an opportunity on a YouTube video, and for $28 for 30 days, I went through and I did learn a lot. Some things I got refreshed on, and for $28 for me, that was a no-brainer. So coming from the mindset of yes, I would love to have that portfolio that Mr. Man showed us for us. Yeah. I would love to have that, and for me to get that, I can't just jump in the pool. I literally have to dip my toe. I have to learn about it and just go through it, because even with the infinite banking concept, I'm learning, I'm thinking, I'm growing. Mr. Man told us tonight to not stop learning and growing, right? Yeah. We get the what's in the infinite banking concept, becoming your own banker. By the way, have you bought the book yet, Melissa?
I listened to the entire book. I didn't buy it.
Yes, so right.
But I did. For those of you who don't know, and I'll have to find the link, but there is a playlist, and a gentleman read the entire Becoming
Perfect.
Your Own
Good.
Banker by the
Good.
Nelson Nash. It's very good, and I
It
liked it
is.
because I could rewind and listen to
Yep,
the
that's
point.
right. That's
It's
right. Yeah,
well
do that. I
written.
do that. I do that
It
all the
definitely
time.
gets your wheels turning. I'll tell you.
It does.
It
It does. But
definitely gets your wheels turning.
do you remember the part where he's talking about the arrival syndrome?
Expand.
Okay, so arrival syndrome. Okay, here's an arrival syndrome that's happened to me. I worked hard to get a house. Okay. I did moves. I learned about credit, money, side hustles. Like I did all this work, this thinking, this growing, this creative, this always on the move. And yes, it was tiring. Okay. And it was work. Yes. I got the house, right? And then I flatlined. I stopped like thinking. I just like, oh, I'm here. Okay. That's
done.
my example of, yeah,
Stepped out.
we've all been that, right? Or it's like we wake up, we get our coffee, we go to our job, we come home, we watch Netflix. We stop learning. You know, I mean, it could be about anything. It doesn't have to be about crypto, money, this, that. We just stop the mind from learning. And when we do that, we diminish our creative thinking.
Yes.
You know, so get out of the arrival syndrome and take that nice step to learn. And Lisa A, do you know what the Well 28 Club, if there is anybody that you've talked to or just videos? Okay, so when I did the $28 a month, it was just videos. They do have a Discord that's a separate fee, but again, I came from the space of wanted to learn. I wanted to learn, and I am I want to do it person, right? So I watched videos. I did watch, Mr. Man and Cyphrix. Cyphrix had his videos as well on his own channel for YouTube and out on X, and I would watch those. And I just went for it. I picked out one DeFi protocol, and I did it, and I watched, and what's going on. How do I claim my rewards? What did Cypress and Aquaman say in there? The rewards. How do I claim? Like, they really walk you through some really, really good stuff. And the great part is like Melissa, you're talking about the infinite banking concept, listening to Becoming Your Own Banker by R. Nelson Nash. You got to rewind it. You can do the same thing. You can listen to it again and again. And so, I mean, bro,
I would say
I
this.
I paid $26 for Netflix, and I don't watch that at all.
I would say this. I would say this. And this is just my recommendation because I love all these guys. I've signed up for things that were entirely too expensive, and then I did not have time. Right. So be mindful of your time, how much time you have.
Yes.
It sounds like Mr. Man's private group. He's got his Patreon that's free, and then he's got his $10 a month group for if you're wanting to communicate with folks and do the town hall and all that kind of stuff. That is probably a really great place to start if you have more time, because then you could kind of start dipping your toe a little bit into it and getting to know some people. And then when you have some time to devote where, you got a month of undivided, you're going to pay this $28, join Club 28 and listen to them in your ear while you're at work. Which is what I'm going to do. I mean, I got to make sure that I got enough time. Cause like I said, I've signed up for things that were more than $28 a month, and it was a plethora of videos. And I have to say a lot of the videos were not very good where I signed up and I was like weeding through a bunch of shit. One thing with these guys, if you've ever listened to any Cyprix or Aquaman or Mr. Man, they're very well spoken, good educators, the way that so they're entertaining to listen to, and in not something that's kind of like all over the place, or you can't understand what they're saying. It would be worth it, is all I'm saying. And I haven't even watched their videos, but I've watched enough of their regular YouTube videos to know how good of a teacher they are. So I think for $28, it would be quality. quality
Yeah,
video.
okay. Well, here's another way to look at it. Because I knew that I had time, but I was also short on time. So I actually was like, okay, I have on my way home from work, I usually have an hour to myself, like guaranteed. Okay, so there's 5 hours, right? So I said, okay, 5 hours. Okay, so that's 20. That's 20 hours a month. Okay. I'm pretty sure I could probably get through most of the content after, when I looked at it, right? Because
Yeah.
you do have to pay to play, see how much there is. A lot of the videos are like 10-minute videos to 16-minute
Perfect.
videos. Like he
Perfect.
really tries to keep them just short, sweet. There are a little lengthy-ish, like 30, 45-minute, a couples, but not too, but those are a little bit few and far between. By comparison to the rest of the bag. So it is something that you could listen to one and listen to another and then call it a day. And then,
Yeah.
again, because I noticed what happened to me. I noticed that I started overloading my mind. So I gave myself another month thereafter to do that. And I was going to continue to do that. So I had something to reference. At $28, Hulu, Disney, Netflix,
Right.
Amazon Prime. I mean, like,
And
come on,
I
man.
mean,
Like,
look, we
that's
we
who we are.
know that yes, you can find information for free on the internet. It's all over. It's a
These guys
time
have
thing.
done that.
It's a time thing and a well-organized thing. And so the other thing I would recommend, go to their channels already, Aquaman, CyberX.
Yep.
See if you like what they sound like. See if you like what they,
That's true
what they're
too.
putting
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
And if they resonate with you, then do it. Because there are, not everybody likes the same kind of voice or teaching style or whatever.
That's right.
But I can say that, for me, when I want to start learning some stuff, I want to put myself in a network of people that really know what they're doing and they're not really trying to sell anything. And yes, they're selling, the membership to come on, but guys, it takes a lot of time to put things together in a way that people can understand it. And, I mean, it does, there's
there's a lot of effort that went into what they did.
You get what you pay for with a lot of free information also. And so, once you're friends and you're in it, you know what I mean? Then you're always friends. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a good idea to at least look into it anyway. So,
Amen to that.
that's my opinion. I don't have any problems with anybody making money, and yeah, time costs money, understandable. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of us out here. We're trying to teach and inspire. We don't make any money from this, and it does take a lot of time. And it's somebody that's actually moving into that step where they're actually starting developing courses. I heard back from Lewis Jackson. He's going to come on our show.
Oh, right on.
He said he's a couple weeks out, but he's another one that's developed course and stuff. And I don't have any problems with people making a little bit of money. Don't want the shiller rug puller type of stuff, but in any event, I think that's a wrap, my friend.
Yeah. That's a wrap. Word to your mother.
I want to thank everybody. You guys, it was really awesome because tonight we didn't stream on. I usually stream it on my X platform under my channel. And a lot of people come in from there because that's where a lot of my people is on X. And so we're really trying to grow the channel, the YouTube channel and the Rumble channel at Dipito. If you are watching this, there's 18 of you still here. If you would please hit that like button and maybe leave a comment, share it out, subscribe to the channel. It would really, really help us grow. It's just a tiny little thing. Just hit that like button. Life with Glee, we love you. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah, and so hopefully we're going to continue to do this way. Maybe we'll stream it to our Twitters after the shows. And so we try to get as many of the live people on as possible until we build our following up. That's what the goal is anyway. And if it doesn't work, then we might have to go back to doing the other thing.
Hey,
but in any event,
it's all good. It's test runs. It's what we do. And you know, I mean, we're coming up. Well, actually, first off, who's coming next week?
Next week, I think it's just you and me.
No. We had what's her face with the secret new password key phrase stuff.
No, password keep guys. So Jake Claver's coming on
the 2nd,
which October 2nd, and then let's see. I want to say, hold on, I'll tell you exactly because I just was confirming with them. Where are you? That's nice. Let's see. Here we go. Geez. October 9th. Sorry. October 9th.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
October 9th. Yeah. I told them I needed this stuff so October 9th, we're gonna have the Keep Key folks on, the CEO of FYEO. They're gonna come on. They're a blockchain security firm that has performed over 250 audits of major protocols. And they've recently created and released in beta CryptPass. That's what it is. It's CryptPass. It's a free to use decentralized password manager and identity monitoring application that allows users to finally self-custody their own passwords. So I am stoked to have them come on the show. And I think his name is Brian. Tammy, the co-CEO, isn't able to come on, but the CEO Brian is going to come on and explain everything. Oh, Simon's so handsy. Was that?
Yeah.
I thought she said handsome.
You like my professional shortwear that I'm wearing? Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll have Jake Claver on October 2nd. Still haven't heard back from Coach JV. We were hoping to have him on this month, but haven't heard back from him. He's been busy. But I did say I did hear back from Lewis Jackson, and he said he's a couple weeks out. That one's probably going to have to be a recorded show because of the time difference is so severe. So
he's UK, right?
Yeah. So we'll talk offline on that and try to nail down. I asked him for some dates and times, and we'll see when we can work it out. But he'll be a great one to have on. And I mean, last week's show with Vechain was just amazing. You guys, we have. I don't know. The last I looked, we were at 999 views, so almost 1,000 views. People tuned in to listen to that conversation with Vechain, and that was super exciting for me. And I'm like, go team, we got 252 subscribers on YouTube. So we're growing little by little, organically grown channel, the Dip a Toe Let's Talk Crypto show.
Or whatever the heck else we want to talk about.
Oh, let's see. I'll see. For those of you interested, I'm posting the Patreon link in the chat, so that you guys have it in the chat there. And then I'm still going to post it in the show notes, and I'll do it as soon as I get off so I don't forget. Because sometimes I say I do things and I don't do them. Anyway,
sometimes I do that.
I know we try. We do our best.
Yeah, we'll talk off camera. I was going to say, maybe, I'm going to try to reach out to Ray Fuentes because I saw him last Friday.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I was in the town hall with Mr. Man and Ray Fuentes.
Oh.
Ray was
Yes.
I know, but Ray was on, and great stuff. And he recognized me from the clips that he got from when we were interviewing Quincy.
Yeah.
So I want to see if he'd be kind enough to sprinkle a little love our way.
You didn't blurt out. You didn't blurt out. You were going to slip in his DMs later.
No,
Like I did.
no. He's talking strategy, and he was talking about Link 2. And there was some real good value there. So I'm gonna reach out to Ray and see if Big Daddy Ray Fuentes will swing through and sprinkle a little Dipito love, and we can talk about that. Yes.
Oh yeah, I also was bold, but it didn't work. He blew me off. But Eric Trump, I posted on Twitter like, "Come on, Dipito show, Eric Trump, talk about World Liberty Fi." But you know what? I bet you if we really wanted to and we really tried, we could probably get one of those fellas from World Liberty Fi to come on Dipito. You know, might take a little while because I'm sure everybody and their mother is gonna be wanting to have them on the show, but you know, you gotta go with the little guy sometimes because you know the unsung heroes of the crypto space deserve some love too. World Liberty Fry, Eric Trump. That would be. I don't know. You know what? I'm more excited to have someone like Mr. Man come on than people that are super you know, in the spotlight because we're getting real talk. And I'm sure those folks can only say a certain amount of things.
Yeah, you know, that's
a superficial type of interview.
No, that's such a valid point. I'm so glad you brought that up because there is this level to where, you know, here I literally can be about 80% of myself you know, on this show, right? I'm not going to show you the other 20. You got to come to Vegas and go to an XRP event to see the other 20. Okay.
Right.
You know, but even like, you know, Alan's show, when I'm talking IBC, I show about 50%. Right. And I think everybody can hit that level to where it's like the more eyes that are honest, the more filtered we become. But that also can kind of take away just the real talk and just, hey man, this is what it is. This is who I am. This is who I be. This is where we be. You can follow me on the TV. Baby. I miss Biggie Smalls. Sorry, random. Yeah,
laying it down for us.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, Simon.
All
Melissa.
right.
Hey, you know what? You're hungry.
I'm
we
hungry.
We do love
I
you all.
Yes. Thank you guys. All of you people that come every week to Dipito Show. We really, really do appreciate you. And like I said last week, if any of you are interested in coming on and sharing your stories, your knowledge, you have questions, you want to participate, you want to see what you look like on camera, hit us up. Let us know.
Come over here.
DipitoShow@gmail.com.
Come on the show.
Yeah.
Right.
Just reach out to one of us and we'll get you on the show. And I think that would be fantastic if you did. So
that would be fantastic.
In any event, we will see everybody here next week. Don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but we're going to have an awesome show for you. And until then, have a great rest of your evening and a wonderful rest of your week. We'll see you later. Bye.